I wrote a book called Imagining India, where I tried to paint what are the ideas of that India's transformation. And one of the ideas in that was that the fact that if everybody had an ID, it would make a big deal. So the book did very well. So then I got a job offer to implement my idea. I'm the only guy who got a job because he wrote a book about some idea. At least 6 or 7 times when I thought it was done, I was out. There was a lot of political opposition. A lot of these NGOs were there. They were against it. They lobbied to stop the project. Privacy issue. They went to the Supreme Court. In fact, the Aadhaar case in the Supreme Court is the second longest case in the history of India. And to decide this, they had to have a 9-judge bench. It was like a big deal. So we fought that case for a long time. 5 years back, I funded a lab at IIT Madras called AI for Bharat. How do you crack Indian language AI? So they built the largest Indian language data set by original collection, not some scraping some internet. So they actually have people going around collecting voice samples in Bhojpuri or Maithili or Hindi or whatever. And that is then we are making it available as open source. We built Aadhaar billion, which used 80 million times a day. Then on that we built KYC. Using KYC, you can open a bank account, get a mobile connection and buy a mutual fund. Now then, we had to work with every regulator to get them to certify that Aadhaar KYC was good for their project. So we went to RBI bank account, we went to SEBI mutual fund, all that. So we had to go to all the regulators to get the digital online KYC as acceptable to their product. And then we used that. Government opened a 700 million bank accounts. So everybody got a bank account. Then we were able to transfer money into the bank account in real time. So India runs the world's largest direct benefit transfer. And then we had to find a way for people to take money out of the account. So we built something called a micro ATM, where you have a phone where you can do authentication and withdraw money from your bank account. And that merchant or grocer will give you money from his drawer and he will get credited and this guy's account gets debited. That does 90 million transactions a month today, and there are 2 million such chaps around the country. You didn't ask me which is your favorite company.
Groww. I think Groww wouldn't have existed if he had not built Aadhaar, UPI, digital stack, because all our customers come to Groww because they can seamlessly open account and, pay and everything. And I think we owe a lot to him. And this is very special for us. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
I'll still introduce Nandan is co-founder and chairman of Infosys now, the OG of startups in and Bangalore. Bangalore is probably also because how Infosys built. We were just talking about how in '92 they thought about Infosys campus, which is very crazy. He is also founding chairman of UIDI. And in fact, Digital Revolution started with his initiatives. A recipient of Padma Bhushan. And he is also the one who is called by government if they need to do any large scale initiative in the country. So he gets things done, which we will learn today. But more importantly, we'll learn how do you think big? So all the things that you've done so far, they are mega, very, very large. So and at Groww, we are very kind of ambitious, and we also want to build big things and so on. So that is what today's question will focus on. And but first of all, warm welcome to sir. We would like to understand your early years, right? All of here are very young, and how did you build this kind of thinking ability and so on?
I was a complete Vela when I was young. I didn't do anything particularly dramatic, but I was born in Bangalore. I'm one of the few guys in Bangalore who was actually born in Bangalore. And but at the age of 12, I left and went to a small town called Dharwad, which is in Karnataka, to do my schooling and college. And from there, I went to IIT. And I was just thinking that when I looked at your background, that we are very similar. Both of us went to IIT Bombay. Both of us became entrepreneurs. Both of us came from small towns. He prepared for the IIT exam with brilliant tutorials and all that. In my time, there was something called Agarwal classes, but they didn't have any postal thing. But my cousin in IIT gave me the old books from his entrance exam, which I studied for the entrance. So, in that sense, we have a lot in common.
I hope I also built something like that.
You already done it, so yeah.
But tell us, so you went to IIT, then you got out, you worked with Patni, how?
accidental stuff. I mean, seriously, I came out of IIT and I thought I'll do IIM, but I missed the exam. So that was gone.
Missed the exam was in like.
I was not feeling well that day, so I didn't take the entrance exam. So wo to gaya. I had been too lazy to apply for SAT and this GMAT and all that. So I was actually at a loose end. What do I do next? And then I heard about this small company called Patti Computer Systems, which was, remember, what happened was in 77, IBM left India. So there was sort of a vacuum here. And also mini computers had started, digital deck. So Patni was the agent for digital data general in India. So I heard they had online computers. In those days, that was a big deal because when I was in IIT, we had to give batch cards, punch cards in the night and get the answer in the morning. So you couldn't make mistakes. If you lost one whole day, if you did it wrong. So you're very careful. So anyway, so I heard about this company with a mini computer. I said, yeah, this sounds like good fun. So I walked into this room, met Murthy, who asked me some puzzle. Then he said, you can join. So I joined.
And so this was not campus kind of thing?
No, nothing.
There were no campus?
Somebody told me there's a company in Nariman Point. Why don't you go and talk to them?
Okay. That sounds fun actually. Yeah. And then, so you went there and then how did you think about, let's say, let's start another company?
So that was Murthy's vision. He always wanted to start a company. So we joined him. He was, he's about 10 years older than me. So we all worked for him. And so we joined him and we started Infosys. And for a long time, we were growing, up till the 90s, we were growing steadily. But then in the early 90s, India changed a lot, right? You had economic reforms and opening up the market. Global companies started coming. And then we realized that unless we think big, we're not going to make it, right? Because if you're a small company, you can't keep your talent, all that. So we then went into this scale thing. And we built India's first campus in 92, 5 acres in Electronic City. There was no road also. Then we did a dharna.
How did you go there? Huh?
So it's not easy to go there. We even had a dharna to get the road built. That sounds familiar, right? It's the same story even today. So those days Hosu Road, these days Sarjapur Road. So we built the campus and that time we started thinking that we got to go big. And then we always set very large goals.
Sorry.
Get to 100 million, get to billion, get to whatever, 10 billion, whatever.
You are putting it so casually. But I think you always stayed on the forefront of tech, right? Like at that time, 92 tech. I don't think anybody knew about technology in India. And then you started, then you Aadhaar and then AI and so on. But
no, I think, see, I have a problem. Okay. I have a fear of becoming irrelevant. So I want to be relevant.
So that's what I wanted to hear. Yeah.
So, no, when you have to be relevant, you have to be on top of things, right? So I've always been making sure that I know what's happening. I remain at the cutting edge. I read a lot. I meet a lot of people globally. I keep track of trends. So that's like in my blood.
Got it.
So even though I have no need to do it, I still do it.
That was another question in future, but yeah.
You can do it later if you want that question.
And Infosys was in 78 plus.
No, we started 81.
81.
But the real takeoff happened in the 90s.
81 I was born, yes. So 81 you started Infosys and Aadhaar you started thinking about when?
So what happened was I was at Infosys from say 81 to 2009. I was the CEO, all that. And then I wrote a book called Imagining India, where I tried to paint what are the ideas of that India's transformation and stuff like that. And one of the ideas in that was that the fact that if everybody had an ID, it would make a big deal. So the book did very well. And so then I got a job offer to implement my idea. I'm the only guy who got a job because he wrote a book about some idea. So I got a call from Delhi and I met Prime Minister Manmohan Singh and he said, it was actually, it's a long story. If you want to hear the whole story, yes, I got a call in middle of May 2014, 2004, 2009, because from Rahul Gandhi saying, "Do you want to come and be HRD minister?" So I said, "That's a good idea. Yeah. Let me go and fix India's education system." So then I said, "Okay, I'll come." And I checked with my co-founder. They said, "Okay, okay, I go and do some national service." So I got permission from my co-founders and I had this offer. But at the last minute, they said not possible because, it's a big job and, everybody wants that job, and some fellow from Bangalore getting it and all, not going to happen.
Okay.
So they didn't give me that job. They said, then Dr. Manmohan Singh called me and said, "Do you want to be member planning commission?" I said, "Boss, I don't want some member planning commission. If there's something which has some action in it, I'll come."
Okay.
And that's how finally we landed on this ID project. It was a very clear thing, give everyone an ID. 1.4 billion people. It was a lot of tech in it. So I said, this will play to my strengths.
Got it.
So that's how I met him in June of 2009 and said, I'll take up this role of giving an ID. So I had a very nice, comfortable, you've seen my campus, beautiful campus, I had a corner office overlooking a golf course. I had a good life.
Good, no pollution, the oxygen levels.
Everything, good greenery.
Beautiful campus. I just visited few months back.
I think I have something nagging in me that I should do something more. So I accepted this challenge to go to Delhi and give everyone a unique idea. So that's how I landed up in Delhi in July of 2009.
But the core idea came when you were writing that book.
The idea, but to be fair, the government was also very much planning some ID. It's not that it's my idea alone. And they had issued the order to set up this thing called Unique Identification Authority of India, which is, and that was with a mandate. It didn't say digital. It just said unique ID. Very good government order it was. So I said, my value add was, I said, I'll make it digital, online, cloud-based. So that's what we sort of pushed it to the next level. So by the time I stepped down, we had done 600 million IDs. Because I wanted enough momentum. So it will continue.
And when was the first ID done after, let's say, 2009? How much?
No, it took us 14 months to build the tech. Yeah.
Okay.
To build the tech platform, it took us 14 months. It's a very complicated, sophisticated.
From idea to
first number issued September 30th, 2010.
Remember the date?
Yeah. We had a big function and all. Yeah. So we issued the number. But by the way, I had a very interesting organization because I had bureaucrats, because I needed the best bureaucrats in India to work for me, because managing government is very complex, and technocrats, technology guys. So, but my administrative office was in Delhi. My tech office was on Sajapur Road, not Sajapur Road, this Outer Ring Road. Just around the corner, I had an office. So I didn't want these guys to get, their brain messed up with Delhi and all. So they were here doing their work. So they took 14 months to design and build the platform. It had not been done before. Nobody had built a platform to issue 1 billion IDs, unique IDs. And the hard part of that was, the technology hard part was, how do you give a unique ID to somebody who does not have any documents? It's not like everybody has a birth certificate. Half the people don't have birth certificates. So he said only biometric deduplication is the only way we can ensure that somebody is unique. But how do you do biometric deduplication of 1 billion people, right? So we said, if you take the 10 fingerprints, iris of both the eyes, and a photograph, there's sufficient digital density of that data to be unique for a person. But then when somebody enrolls, you have to compare that person with all the people you have to see if they're already the system under some other name. So imagine if you have 500 million people in that database and 1 million people enroll,
you're matching
500 trillion matches every day. So imagine the computing required. We had some 30,000-40,000 servers and all that.
And in spite of this complexity, you shipped it in like 14 months.
Yeah.
But with people from Delhi also.
So that was okay, because they let me do my job. To be fair, nobody asked me about what's happening.
So I'm just trying to grasp this. So basically what you do is you read, you write, and then you spend a lot of time thinking, and then something happens. Some idea comes.
Right.
Is that how it happens?
Sort of.
Right. Okay.
Well, see, I because I've been around a long time. So I can connect the dots because I read so much, or I have so many interests that I can connect the dots and figure out, okay, this looks like something which will benefit from.
Am I missing out anything apart from this, like reading, writing, thinking, like
Talking.
talking? Talking
No,
helps.
but also, okay, let's reframe this. I didn't begin to become some thinker of big ideas. I didn't begin my life like that. Over time, through Infosys experience and all that, I became better at it. But when I went to doing India scale stuff, that is a whole different league. Right? See, running a company is one scale. Running a infrastructure for a billion people is a different scale altogether. So that taught me and many of my friends who all work together on how to think at population scale. How do you design for a billion people? How do you make it low cost? How do you make it very high volume, small transaction value? So those are all lessons. How do you make it an open architecture? Because when you build in a company, you build for a set of consumers, right? Your guys who buy mutual funds or do SIPs or whatever. In our case, we don't have the application, but we want infrastructure for others to use. So we said, okay, how do you build authentication capability? So you can confirm that Lalit is Lalit and give that as an API, which somebody else can embed in his application and do authentication. How do you do KYC so that you can buy a mutual fund? So we always thought about how do you unlock at scale. So everything we have done has that unlocking at scale attribute.
And then I think you are also surrounded by like you pick the team and you're surrounded by very, very smart folks, right? That also kind of helped kind of get.
Well, there's another lesson I learned that a lot of people want to do big things. So many of these people, they came to me. Like Pramod Verma, who's one of the best architects today in the world, and he lives just down the road here. He was working in IBM, Sterling Commerce, something, and he saw an article that I had joined this job. And I knew him from Infosys days. So he called up and said, I want to join. So like that, a lot of people just came. So if you're doing something, if you're doing a mission of great importance, people will come.
Not to everybody. I mean, somebody who can. But yeah, so I think this is clear. Like, so in both these cases, and now
He's trying to figure me out. Okay, I can see he's trying to. Okay, so how is this guy working?
Yeah, of course, that's the goal. But that is like just one part, which is about thinking and big and everything. But then getting things done, right? Like getting relevant people together, clarifying, because I'm sure there would be a lot of I mean, I would love to know, for example, both in Infosys case and in digital stack case. I mean, Aadhaar was just one of the things, because there are a bunch of other things also in the stack. So in all these cases, like, what are the core challenges that you face, and then how did you?
No, I think again, going back to your interview, you also talked about how you can bring people together. So that was also my strength. I can bring a bunch of very talented people together and get them to focus on one goal and motivate.
What do you tell them? Like, why do they come to you?
Well, they come to me because I've learned a technique now, which I keep using. Technique is I set such an ambitious goal that they have no choice but to do it. In the sense, I always set big goals, and one is it fires people that okay, we're doing this big thing, and second, there's no time to fight. Also, we are so busy trying to get to that goal that everybody unites. So having ambitious goals helps in uniting people also, especially when they're from different backgrounds. Because one side I had bureaucrats, one side I had technologists, different crowd. So I had to get all these guys to work together. So I think the fact I can get a bunch of people to work together to a common goal, I think that's my key capability. And that gives you leverage, because as long as I have good leaders, I can take on multiple things.
But I'm sure there would have been like bad times, right? In so many, like, were there like any instances that you would like be okay to talk?
Yeah. I mean, there are at least 6 or 7 times when I thought it was done. I was out. Once there was a lot of political opposition. Then a lot of these NGOs were there. They were against it. They lobbied to stop the project. Privacy issue. They went to the Supreme Court. In fact, the Aadhaar case in the Supreme Court is the second longest case in the history of India. And to decide this, they had to have a 9-judge bench. It was like a big deal. So we fought that case for a long time. Then getting budgets. See, I didn't have a law. I didn't have a budget. I didn't have a team, and I had to make it work, right? So I had to assemble a team, get budgets, all that. So it was tough. At least many times I thought game over, but we just hung in there. I didn't want to come back to Bangalore without getting it done.
Why? Why did you hang in there? Like, what was driving you? Like, why did you kind of?
Well, I didn't want to admit failure, I think.
What is now in the future? Like we have a lot of things, and you still keep thinking about and keep writing about, like, a lot more about future and so on.
Yeah, so now I'm working on 3 big ideas. Obviously, AI and its application at population scale. How do we, fix that? Second is something called the Finternet, which is essentially how do you design an architecture for the tokenization of all kinds of assets, bonds, deposits, real estate, art, horses, stable coins, whatever. So all these are tokenized assets. And third one is how do we create open networks which allow you to unbundle commerce in a way anybody can participate. And one of them is for energy, which we're spending a lot of time on, called digital energy grid. Yeah. I'm also the chief mentor of that energy task force of the government. He said, no, they keep pulling me in. I just got pulled in last week for that.
So first one, let's say AI. That's the first one that you talked about. So that means that's the most important thing for you right now. Am I correct?
Yeah, in the sense, yeah. I mean, there's 2 AI. The AI that company does, but I'm looking at how to apply AI at scale. So doing number one is language. So 5 years back, I funded a lab at IIT Madras called AI for Bharat.
Okay.
To how do you crack Indian language AI? So they've built the largest Indian language data set by original collection, not some scraping some internet. So they actually have people going around collecting voice samples in Bhojpuri or Maithili or Hindi or whatever. And that is then we are making it available as open source. So people are
foundation model.
No, this is data. So people are building foundation models with.
Now you can use that data.
Anybody can use it. You can earlier it's on Hugging Face, but now it's on that AI Kosh, which is the government's open data model. So idea is how do we accelerate because I thought that language is not a competitive thing. I mean, you can have somebody ordering, buying a mutual fund in Hindi. Somebody else may want to sell something else in, Tamil. So these are not. So if we can dramatically reduce the time in which Indian language AI becomes available, then everybody benefits.
But I'm curious about your views on how AI is going to impact one like orgs like us and then people like us. I mean, what is your view on that?
No, obviously there's going to be massive impact on productivity and so on. So we can get more done with less people in tech. And also in businesses, this agentic AI will be a big deal because businesses do a lot of business processes.
Yeah.
And if that is made into some kind of an agentic thing, then it, you can do it efficiently, better quality, less people and all that. But I also think that the work required to make AI work in the world is also huge. So while you become more efficient and productive, there'll also be more things to do. So I'm not that worried about it.
And you think India as a country, we will be able to kind of stack up in this? The new economies will emerge with AI and all, right?
Definitely.
Are we
Yeah.
well prepared?
I think the users will come here. The use of AI in India will be a big place.
But value creation happen in India.
Large language models will be commodities. That's not where the action is. Every day there's a new large language model.
Yeah.
How to put this to use to make...
So application layer will be kind
Absolutely. The value will migrate to the application layer.
Do you think companies like size of Infosys coming out, building AI?
Yeah, we already have multiple small language models already, 2 billion parameter models, which we have built from scratch using our own data. It's not today building models is not
a rocket science. Yeah.
It's a commodity.
No, rocket science is also not rocket science, but yeah. And what about Finternet?
Finternet is very promising. They're getting a lot of interest globally because there's a whole. Basically, what you're doing is you're convert. When we design IT systems for financial assets, we put them into database and all that. In some sense, the Finternet is going back to the future, right? Where today, when I give you a 100 rupee note, it's really a token which has got all the value embedded in that. Or if I give you a file with my real estate, similarly, when you tokenize assets, the assets attributes travel with the asset. So if I tokenize some bond, then I can just sell you that bond instantly. And then you can go back and redeem the bond with the company which issued the bond. So you can have a real time, high volume transaction system 24/7. Like stable coins do it, right?
Blockchain, yeah.
Stable coins, we look at Circle or Tether and all these guys. They basically take the dollar and give you a Tether coin, which you can then trade on some.
How would our Finternet be different from?
That's a very specific stable coin where the tokenization is a fiat currency like the dollar.
In tokenize everything.
This is the architecture to tokenize any type of asset.
Would land records would
Yeah.
Would government be open to kind of do?
Yeah, many states now have online registration and all that. So they will tokenize land so that you can unlock land value. So it's an unlock thing.
Yeah. That's the biggest kind of growth potential for India. Business, local business guy, if they want to start a business, they can just
Most people have land assets.
mortgage it.
So if you can unlock land, then they can buy one mutual fund of yours or something.
Yes. Or they can start a business. Or they asked me to ask you this specific question, that why the Aadhaar letter was in A5 size.
Well, because it had to be posted, so it had to be an envelope, and people are more familiar with a larger size. But you can cut off the thing at the bottom. You can cut off the thing.
So you get into so many details.
Yeah.
Right. Like what should the font size?
No, yeah. Not only that, name, how it looked. Because look at it this way: you're sending a letter to 1 billion people. You get it right, no? When you do at that scale, every detail matters.
Yeah. So we have one commandment called sweat over small stuff.
Yeah.
Like we have 10 commandments, and this is one of them.
Totally.
And then another question they had is, why is Aadhaar a card? Is Aadhaar a card or a letter?
No, Aadhaar is neither. Actually, it's a digital ID online on the cloud.
Okay.
But try in 2009 to tell somebody that I'm going to give you a digital ID on the cloud. They'll think you're crazy. Yeah. So we have to give a letter because as people understand the physical,
something in hand.
Yeah, the real value is online verification.
Yeah. Great. So rapid fire questions. Decision that you have made from pure instinct. No data, no logic. Just
everything I've done. Not appearing for IIM exam, walking in for a job interview, everything, starting Infosys, going to Government of India, all taken on the spur of the moment.
One thing young India often gets wrong about tech.
I think people use the tech for, social media and all that. Reels, Instagram, this. For me, that doesn't excite me. What excites me is how can you use this to make billion people's lives better?
Yeah.
So,
top 3 books, favorite books.
I don't read tech books or business books. I read history books.
Oh, nice. So which history books?
So I'm reading a book now on the spice wars of 1600.
Nice.
And how, people fought over nutmeg and this and that. I'm reading a book on the Sassoon family. The Sassoons were a very famous family. At one time, they were the biggest business group in the world, and then they vanished. So show that nothing is permanent.
Nothing is permanent, yeah. A mistake you're glad you made.
Not going abroad, not joining IIM.
If you are 25 again and starting fresh, what would you work on right now?
I'd work on building a next big global Finternet app or something like that.
This was crazy good conversation. Loud kind of.
Thank you for inviting me.
And really, really grateful for all you've done. Thank you so much.
Anytime.
Yeah.
You didn't ask me which is your favorite company. Groww.
Investment in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Please read the risk disclosure documents carefully before investing in equity shares, derivatives, mutual fund, and or other instruments traded on the stock exchanges.